Welcome to another episode of Collection Spotlight. I'm Dan Brose, the curator of collections here at the museum, and today we'll be talking about Captain 11. Generations of South Dakotans grew up watching the Captain. We'd rush home from school to sit down in front of the TV and be welcomed by the familiar sounds of the Captain's time converter and the booming voice that proclaimed, "One man in each century is given the power to control time. The man chosen to receive this power is carefully selected. He must be kind, he must be fair, he must be brave. You have fulfilled these requirements, and we of the outer galaxies designate to you the wisdom of Solomon and the strength of Atlas. You are Captain 11. And then when we saw the Captain, he would always ask us at the beginning of each show, "How's my crew today?" And no matter if we were watching at home or the kids in the studio, we'd all yell back, "Fine!" Now, we're in the museum gallery today, and on display is one of Captain 11's uniforms. This one he wore in the late 1970s and into the early 1980s. Now, in street clothes, Captain 11 was Dave Dietrich. He was the weatherman, the trusted weatherman on KELO TV out of Sioux Falls. He has the distinction of being the first voice heard in South Dakota television when KELO first aired on March 19th, 1953. And that began Dietrich's 44-year career in the television industry. Captain 11 first aired on March 7th, 1955. It ran a record 41 years, making it the longest running children's show in television history. Now, Dietrich hung up the suit, retiring on December 30th, 1996. Now, we're going to go back into the museum storage area and look at perhaps one of our largest artifacts in the collection. Now, we're back in the museum storage area, and as you can see, we have Captain 11's set. It was donated in 1998 and went on display shortly thereafter. We do have one of the time converters going right now. We normally don't plug in things once it comes to the museum, but we're making a rare exception. Now, this is kind of a special treat for me because I never, as a kid growing up in Aberdeen, I never actually got to go and see Captain 11, but getting to care for his set and his uniforms now is a pretty special treat. In addition to having the set, the museum also has Captain 11's treasure chest and the giant Tootsie Roll that he had on stage with him. Now, when he ended each show, he'd always say the same thing. He'd say, "Wave one hand and one foot. Wave one hand and both feet. Wave both hands and both feet. Mind Mom and Dad. Eat everything they tell you to eat. Brush your teeth and say your prayers before you go to bed." Sadly, Dave Dietrich, Captain 11, passed away on January 22nd, 2010. He'd end each show by saying, "So long, crew. So long, Captain. We miss you." Thanks for joining us.